Today on Football Analysed, these are the best Matchweek 28 Premier League predictions on the internet. Before we jump into it, make sure you like the video and subscribe, because I'm going to be posting high quality football content over 5 times per week. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. First up, Manchester United versus Everton. Now, Manchester United at home have gained a little bit of a reputation for losing games that they really shouldn't be losing. Just when you think they're in a bit of form, you know. Rashford's in one of his hot streaks instead of being shit like he is for half the season. They're playing well, they look like they're going good, and then they get bummed by a shit team at home. Will that happen this weekend? I don't think so. Fulham was too recent. Manchester United will beat Sean Dyche's Everton 3-1. Moving on, Crystal Palace versus Luton Town. This is interesting, because I believe in Luton Town, I really do. I'm with them to the end, and I want them to stay up. Crystal Palace, they looked good against Spurs last weekend with Oliver Glasner at the helm. Eberechi Eze scored an absolute piss missile. Will they get the job done against Luton Town? I think so. At Selhurst Park, they're going to win 2-0. Bournemouth versus Sheffield United. As I said last week, Bournemouth are looking good, and they're good enough to beat small clubs like Sheffield and Burnley 2-3-0. This weekend, they'll do it 3-0 against Sheffield United. And also, because Sheffield United, they look horrendous. Horrendous. I'm surprised, honestly, 6-0 against Arsenal. 5-0 in the first half. I'm surprised it didn't get to 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyway, Bournemouth will beat Sheffield United 3-0. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Fulham. This is sort of clash of mid-table sides. Wolves, it was interesting because I really backed them. They looked good. Then they got absolutely bummed by Newcastle last week. Fulham, they look great. Brighton, they beat 3-0, which is quite impressive. Brighton, they're looking good this season. However, they weren't really trying. They're preparing for tomorrow's Europa League game against Roma. Wolves versus Fulham at Molineux. 2-1 Wolves. Now, Arsenal versus Brentford. This is tricky because Arsenal, they're in quite literally crazy form. They're beating not everybody, they're beating all the small teams 5-6, 4-0. Brentford, they are on awful form. They're dropping down the ladder rapidly, and they might even get relegated. Probably not though. Arsenal versus Brentford. Are Brentford that kind of club that's just going to get absolutely smashed by Arsenal? Yes. 4-0 Arsenal. Aston Villa versus Tottenham. To me, the biggest game of the week. As a Spurs fan, we need to win this game. An absolutely crucial game for both sides in the race for Champions League football. Last time, we visited Villa Park in a Premier League game and ended 3-0 to Aston Villa. Will there be the same outcome this weekend? Unfortunately, I think Aston Villa are going to take this one. 3-2 Villa. West Ham versus Burnley. West Ham, they're looking alright. Burnley, they're looking everything but alright. They're going to go straight back down to the Championship. Vincent Kompany, he needs to be sacked. No offence, I respect him a lot, but he's not the right manager. He needs to be sacked. West Ham, in the meantime, are going to beat Burnley 4-1 at the London Stadium. Brighton versus Forest. Brighton got beat 3-0 by Fulham last week, but as I mentioned, they're not really trying. They were getting ready for the Europa League clash against Roma. This is another interesting one, because they're going to be tired after the Europa League clash against Roma. Will they be fully fit enough to beat Forest at home? Yes, they will. At the Amex, Brighton are going to beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. Now, the biggest game of the week, one of the biggest games this season that will ever be played, Liverpool versus Manchester City. This game, it brings a special energy to it. Obviously, the Anfield atmosphere and the two sides that are playing each other are just that good. This is such a hard one to predict because they're both looking amazing. Liverpool, they're looking stellar this year. Both teams, this is going to be another one of those reminiscent of 2018-19, 2020-2021 title races where City always edges it by 1 point. Who will win this game? Liverpool will win this game. 3-1 they're going to run away with it late. Another big game, Chelsea versus Newcastle. Well, I say big because the aura around the clubs is quite large, but then you look deeper into the clubs, especially Chelsea, and you realise they ain't all that. Chelsea versus Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. Will Chelsea be able to get the job done? I think they will. They're going to win 3-0. Quite a heavy win for Chelsea. What did you think of these predictions? Were they any good? Were they shite? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.